It's been a weird saga, and the French media have been watching it day by day. So the reshuffle was coming after the Interior Minister, Monsieur Collon's resignation last week. That was a very public affair. First, Monsieur Macron refused it, and then the minister kept pushing on it, and then he was forced to accept it. And that was a strange spat, because Monsieur Collon was always seen as a very placid, quiet kind of character, one of the very first supports of Monsieur Macron in his presidential run. And so that sudden split between them was very surprising. And then that split came just as Monsieur Macron was trying to reboot his presidency after this summer of setbacks, previous resignations of other ministers, including Nicolas Hulot, who's a very popular figure as well. And he was trying to reboot, went to the French Caribbean and said, I will change my methods, I'm here to listen, and I hear you, to the French opinion. And this resignation came. So now this reshuffle was expected on Monday, and then it was Tuesday morning, then Tuesday evening, then Wednesday, and then it was still not happening. And then Monsieur Macron, as you can see, had to fly to Armenia for his trip, and now we might expect the reshuffle on Friday, but it's not sure. So that gives an impression of chaos at the top.
Well, there's been all sorts of reports about whether it would just be a cosmetic change or whether it would be a major relaunch, and the delay seems to suggest, well, perhaps a relaunch might be possible now, and it might be a reset moment for the Macron government.
Exactly, and never waste a crisis in politics as well. And so there is a fine balance in that reshuffle for him to hold, because his government has a right-left balance that he needs to find. There's a politician and civil society balance that he needs to find, and a men and women balance that he needs to find. And so there's been a questioning of, are they actually struggling to find candidates? Because they're not a political party, they're not a political machine. En Marche is still a relatively young, new movement. And there's a question of, do they have actually a talent pool to hold a ministry like the Interior Ministry?
Edouard Philippe is the key player, I think, here. I mean, no, obviously Monsieur Macron is the key player, but is Edouard Philippe the key here? One understands there's been issues between the Prime Minister, Philippe, and the President, Monsieur Macron, as well. And as you quite rightly say, it was a very young party where talent, including Philippe, came from other areas of the French political establishment. My understanding, and again, I'd love to get your take on this, is that Macron's polls are pretty low, and Edouard Philippe's are actually picking up quite substantially at the moment.
Well, actually, they're both quite low. But Monsieur Philippe, he was saying in the National Assembly, he actually was answering questions to the members of Parliament the other day, and said, the difference between me and Monsieur Macron is as thin as cigarette paper, meaning, we're on the same page, we want the same thing, there are no differences between us. This delay, the classical role of the Prime Minister in France is to protect the President, and that's always been seen like that. The President is above, and the Prime Minister is seen as the fusible, so the thing that makes jump when there's an electrical shortcut. And so, in a way, maybe Monsieur Philippe is used in that way as well.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.